Yeah! Welcome in.
Wow.
Welcome to AleSmith. We are live in front of a live studio audience. It's a little feedback.
Yeah.
What's that from? Probably just the, wow, it's very hot.
It's really awesome. All right.
All right, we're off to a good start here. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Paulie's going to mess with the levels and try to get it all figured out. But, again, I mean, this place is packed. Make some noise, Padres fans. Look at that. This is insane. Taking a look around the crowd. Not one ugly blue hat in here, which I love. A sea of brown and yellow joining us live from AleSmith right now. And if you came looking for Ben Higgins, he will not be here today. I apologize. Boo! Yeah, he got called away, well, to the beast of the belly, as he calls it. It's usually the belly of the beast, but he's actually on his way up to Dodger Stadium. He will be checking in. Had to go work for Channel 10 today, so it's me. We got our producer, Paulie Reinl. Make some noise for Paulie. Going to be holding it down for the next couple hours, talking Padres baseball, which is what we love to do more than anything else in the world. And just a really, really special day for all Padres fans out here. Thank you guys so much for making the effort to come out. It means the world to us, all your kind words. It's just incredible. Actually teared up earlier talking to a Tier 1, so I had to get my head right to come in and do this. It's kind of emotional. This isn't something that happens all the time here in San Diego. So I'm so glad to see everybody embracing it and coming out in full gear, ready to rock. So many faces that I know and love so much out there. So it means a ton. It means a ton.
Hello. Yeah. Still working on it.
Is it the speakers?
Trying to figure it
All right, Paulie's working on it right now. Paulie is an audio wizard, so he will get it figured out. But man, I know you guys are fired up for tonight. It's going to be pretty electric. How's everybody feeling? Good, sad, nervous, what? Yeah, I'm ready for first pitch, if I'm being completely honest with you. Once the first pitch happens, I usually lock in pretty good. Hopefully Dylan Cease locks in as well tonight, because we need a big one from Dylan. Got some reports out of L.A. Freddie Freeman may not be in the lineup, so that's kind of a win. I saw Max Muncy was taking grounders at first, warming up with the first baseman's mitt. That's the report that we got in. And, of course, we'll be talking about Joe Musgrove and just the sad news that came out about Joe yesterday. And we'll all send our love to Joe, certainly. But, yeah, we are here, going to be here till 4:30. We have a really special guest coming up, too, probably in the next hour or so. I think you guys are going to be really excited. It's somebody that has been talking baseball a long time and is sorely missed right now. So we'll be bringing by a very special guest. He'll pop in. We'll bring him in WWE style, and I want you guys to make some noise when we introduce him and he shows up. But right now, while you're here at AleSmith, I want to let you guys know we got $5 pints of $3.94 Pale Ale and Hazy $3.94 during the game. $10 Rally Pint Special. I'm going to be buying. I think I can do like some shots of beer or something. I'll get around on me today. We'll keep the good karma going. Make some noise. Hope my wife is not listening or watching. You can also check us out on YouTube, all of that. But Paulie's working on the audio right now. Man, I'm just excited to be here. I know you guys are too. This has been one of the coolest experiences of my life, being able to talk about this team on a daily basis. And this year in particular has been really, really special. It was kind of a blur. After July 19th was my birthday. They were 50 and 50. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, we're actually a pretty good baseball team. A really, really good baseball team. Had a really, really nice run. And it's still kind of hard to remember. It was just win after win after win, series win, big teams, great teams. Played against some of these teams that are playing in the playoffs and handled business against them. And I really don't expect anything different tonight. I know that the Padres are technically an underdog against the LA Dodgers, but I'm looking at it right now going, I feel really, really good about this team. You guys feel the same? Looks like Paulie's got it somewhat figured out.
I'm terrified to talk right now.
No, it sounds good. Everything sound better out there? All right. So, yeah, thank you, Paulie, for getting that dialed in. And we're going to be here. But, yeah, Benny will be checking with us. What time did we decide?
About 3 o'clock.
About 3 o'clock, we'll have him live from Dodger Stadium. I'm sure he went to the Dave Roberts press conference, I would imagine.
Probably went out to dinner
yesterday. Played a round of golf this morning. Talked a little strategy. But, no, man, it's a big day. And he's so bummed to miss it. He wanted me to, and I'm sure he will as well, pass along all his love for all the Tier 1s as well. But, man, it's just a special day.
Yeah, this is incredible. I know you were talking about it, but you guys all singing along and going bananas before the show even started was incredible.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Postseason, Sammy Levitt will be in Dodger Stadium as well. He'll be doing the Equawater pregame live from Dodger Stadium. And, again, Ben will be checking in. A very special guest coming up. We have a lot to get to, Paulie, today. Let's start with tonight's matchup with Yoshinobu Yamamoto taking on the San Diego Padres against our beloved Dylan Cease. And, you know, it set up so perfectly against Atlanta. And the Padres I was really impressed by just handling business. I felt so much pressure for them the first game. They were throwing a kid that had 4 innings of big league experience, had really no business being out there. But we've seen guys like that give our boys fits from time to time. And, man, it was just no problem. They just went out and they handled business. And then, of course, Michael King was beyond brilliant. Yeah. Has really established himself as an ace-type pitcher.
A historic type of outing.
A historic outing, one that we so desperately needed.
Yeah.
Game 1, to me, was the really anxiety-ridden one. And you know what? Tonight, let the chips fall where they may. If Freddie's not in the lineup, I think that changes things dramatically. And I think it changes how you pitch to Shohei Ohtani. I mean, really, because Mookie Betts, while he's a really good player, he's got something to prove this postseason after last year. And Freddie does too. But if Freddie's not in the lineup, I don't know how you slot it in with the LA
he's
Dodgers.
already got the built-in excuse.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Built-in excuse.
It's valid, too.
He's got a bum ankle, is not feeling very well. Frankie back in the studio. We got Italian Paul, Frank Marchese, back in the studio with us. He just said that the Padres lineup is out. Paulie, if you would find that and let everybody know what we can be expecting tonight. We have not seen a Dodger lineup out yet. I think they're waiting till the last second to see if Freddie Freeman can actually go tonight for the LA Dodgers. And look, man, I want to beat the best, certainly. I'm not going to be super upset if Freddie's not in the lineup because he's a really good player.
Shortens that lineup a lot.
It shortens that lineup. And but again, it's the postseason. And if you guys have been watching, man, anybody can step up at any time, and that's the beauty of the postseason. I'm watching right now. Mets are down 1-0 to the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. Bryce Harper's at the dish with 2 outs, runner on second. So everybody has a chance to be a hero. And this lineup, the thing I love and have loved most about it this year is there's not been one guy. In fact, it's been 9 guys. It's been 26 guys. It's been 35 guys. It's been Donovan Solano. It's been Tyler Wade at times with big hits and big bunts and, nice plays. It's been Manny Machado. Xander Bogaerts carried this team for a time. I mean, it has just been every single man. And I'll tell you, covering this team as intensely as we have for the last 6 years, I've never seen a team like this in this town. And I know a lot of you that were here long before me, 98 is maybe the closest comp. And people just say, man, this is the best Padres team I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, just looking at the lineup right here, you go up and down. Every single guy in this lineup has had more than a few moments this season. It's not just 1 through 4. But Padres rolling out there tonight. They're going to be batting Luis Arraez leadoff. He's DHing. Tatis batting second and right. Profar batting third in left. Manny Machado's playing third. Jackson Merrill is playing center and hitting fifth. Bogaerts, Cronenworth, Solano at first base, Higashioka behind the dish.
All right, so no huge changes at all. There were a couple of moves made to the 26-man roster. So when do we need to break?
We need to break in 1 minute ago.
All right, 1 minute ago. So we will take a This is why Ben is so valuable to the show, because he knows when to break.
It's true.
So when we come back, we'll talk about the changes to the roster. And of course, I want to give a big shout out and send our love to the great Joe Musgrove, San Diego Zone. We will do that when we come back. Thanks so much for being here, live from AleSmith, Ben and Woods. That is mind-blowing.
All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Welcome back to a very special edition of Ben and Woods, live from AleSmith. Everybody make some noise. Oh, my gosh.
This is incredible.
This is some asses in the seats out there today, man. This is
overflow seating in the back.
Yep, this is great, man. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Thank you for listening on 97.3 The Fan. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Search Ben and Woods. As I mentioned, Benny had to go to L.A., man. He got called from Channel 10 to have to go in, and he tried his damnedest to get out of it. He really
He
did.
did not want to
He
go.
did not want to go. I am a little bit nervous for his health. I hope that he makes it back alive. If he's out in Dodger Stadium, post game, like, hey, let's check in with some Dodger fans, and hopefully it's after like a 6-1 drubbing. I really, they can get a little spicy up there in Dodger Stadium. But then again, so can we.
Now, speaking of Ben, we have an addition to the set here.
Yep.
Our beloved Corey Stewart brought this.
It's like I would
it?
describe it as a shirt you would buy at a gas station. That's the exact way I would describe it, as a gas station shirt.
Padres polo.
It's got like a bald eagle on it somewhere, I'm pretty sure. It is a half American flag, Padres logos. It is really, really something. So you missed out on that. But he, again, will be checking in with us. And I'm very excited for our special guest to come in and talk some baseball today. It's going to be a really cool thing for us. It's somebody that I think you're really going to enjoy. But right now, I'm Woodsy. You got Paulie Reindl, our executive producer here, getting fired up for the game tonight. I want to talk about what happened yesterday, the news that came down yesterday. And listen, I mean, this is a celebration. We are in the postseason. We are taking on the LA Dodgers. I'm very excited about that. The San Diego Padres have earned their way. They really, really earned it this year, man. They really did. It was one of the coolest things I've seen. You saw some really inspired, passionate, unselfish baseball, and that's something I think we've been talking about and wanting to see for so long. And we finally saw it. And boy, you saw how the fruits of their labors paid off. One of the best second half that you could possibly ask for, and the way that they took care of business in the playoffs against Atlanta, it's just inspiring. They've inspired me the entire year, and I think it starts certainly with the makeup of some of the guys. And some of the makeup of the guys, there's obviously been this weight on the entire team and the entire city with the loss of our beloved owner, Peter Seidler. And, we talked about it on the roundtable Friday. Ben always calls it the heavenly touch. And, I like the point that Annie Heilbrunn made. She said, I like the idea that they're all bought into it, but what if they lose? That's certainly not going to be blamed on Peter. And I said, man, I know what you're saying, but these guys are playing so hard. They're playing so well. And you do feel like there's been some divine intervention at times when Dylan Cease is throwing a no-hitter and the glove pops out of Bogey's glove, or the ball pops out of Bogey's glove, and Jackson Merrill's right there to pick it up. Some of the walk-off hits, some of the insane plays that we've seen. It's just been an incredible thing to watch this year. I'm just so proud of them. And I was talking to our special guest the other day, and I said, yeah, man, it's getting really hard to find things to get pissed off about and nitpick about this team. Because really, why would I? I mean, they're just playing so well. And one of the guys that helped get us here, unfortunately, is going to be on the shelf for a while. And that's Joe Musgrove, San Diego's own Joe Musgrove. Let's give him a massive, massive round of applause. I was DMing with his mom last night, and it broke my heart because Joe, when you heard the audio, and if you haven't heard it, we'll play it for you here. Italian Paul's got it back in the studio, but when he says he's devastated that he doesn't get a chance to finish what they all started together, that hit me right in the gut because Joe's come back since he's come off the IL. He has pitched his heart out, and seemingly with a tear in his elbow. And the guy went out, I think his ERA was like 2 since he's been back. He's just been outstanding. So, yes, he is a tremendous, tremendous loss. But if any single team in Major League Baseball can withstand losing a Joe Musgrove, I think it's this team. Frankie, if you would, play the audio yesterday when we all found out the news that Joe's going to be out with Tommy John.
Yeah, I mean, I'm devastated about, not being able to finish what we started. But, I'm not all that concerned about the work or the rehab and, the time off. I know how to work hard. It's just a matter of, coming to grips with that. This is it for me.
Did it tell you how significant the tear was? Like, was it a full tear and give you a time?
I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah, enough to where I feel like I can't throw a ball. So.
Did you know right away when you came off the mound that it was probably that bad? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with it for a while, and everyone's got some kind of tears and some damage in the UCL. I was told back in the middle months of the summer that, that there was some damage there and that it was kind of a matter of time. And, this seemed like something that I could manage physically. I felt like I was capable of throwing still. I didn't feel like anything, as extreme as, a UCL injury. But over the last few weeks, it was getting, a little more intense. And then obviously in that last game, it was a pretty drastic jump from like the 3rd to the 4th inning. I felt decent in the first couple innings, and velo stuff was still there. I think I remember after the 3rd coming in and feeling like significantly tighter and put some heat on it, tried to go back out, and then, that entire 4th inning was a struggle. I was just trying to get it over the plate and get out of the inning and, reevaluate from there. But, yeah, I think I was pretty clear. I didn't, necessarily know it was a UCL injury, but it was something that I hadn't felt before, and to the point where obviously I don't think that's the first time in my career I've had to walk off the mound. So, it was pretty intense for me.
And it certainly was intense for all of us to hear that news yesterday. And I just can't say enough good things about the person that Joe is, the player that Joe is, and, just one more source of inspiration I think this team can draw from this postseason. And Kyle Higashioka said it best. He said he's irreplaceable. And, when you're Mike Schilt and when you're the Padres, well, he has to be replaced somehow. And they're going to need to find somebody that can eat, the innings that he would have eaten for us and eaten them very effectively.
He's such a leader.
Such a leader.
You can't replace that.
Right.
But you do know that everybody has stepped up. It's that brother mentality.
Yeah.
They have stepped up for their brother time and time again. All season long. I don't expect it to change anytime soon.
No, and I hope that he's around the team. I'm assuming he will be, and helping out all the guys. He's such a smart pitching, smart pitcher and student of the game. And I'm super bummed for it. I walked in yesterday. I had no idea he did this, but my son went in and I posted it on social media. But he wrote a nice little note and taped a baseball card up. Joe's his favorite player, got his autograph over his bed, and he has a lot of favorite players. This is a team full of my favorite player.
Kidding.
I mean, it's like every single guy on this team has been really inspiring this year. So obviously going to be a blow to lose Joe Musgrove, but I think they can figure it out, man. And they made a couple changes to the roster. Obviously, Joe will not be on the roster. Martin Perez will be on the roster. They left Nick Ahmed, who did not get in against Atlanta, left him off the roster as well. And they're going to add Alec Jacobs. which is, the more I thought about it, of course, I was kind of bummed. I wanted Sean Reynolds. He's big, tall righty, brings the gas, but we can tell you why they decided to go with Jacob next.
We'll be joined by Ben Higgins.
And we'll be joined by Ben Higgins, he of Ben & Woods.
10 News.
10 News. More importantly, Channel 10. He'll join us next. Thank you guys for being here. Make some noise live from AleSmith. It's packed. Padres fans. Be right back. All right, welcome back to a special edition of Ben and Woods, live from AleSmith Brewing. Very, very happy to be here. Man, full house today. We got kids, we got dogs. Everyone's got a nice cold beverage. Got drink specials up there, too, for you guys. I mean, I think you got to get a 394 in you today. Luis Arraez needs to hit about 394 for the series. And, listen, set the table for the guys.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
Going to turn the volume up.
Okay, Paulie's going to crank the volume for the live studio audience in here. I can just scream if you guys want to, but no, Ben is going to be joining us live via the tie line here pretty soon, so we'll have Ben Higgins. But remember, you guys remember these necklaces we were talking about? They ended up, they got me. I'm here now. I'm selling the necklaces for Ricky Huerta, who is one of the trainers on the San Diego Padres, and his daughter Juliana, right? Juliana's over here. She's the one that made these. So I've got like 16 left. $25 a pop. Bring you guys down here. You guys can fist fight for them, whatever you want to do. But you can have them until we run out, all right? But right now we're going to be joined by a very special guest, Benjamin R. Higgins, live from Los Angeles, California. Benny, how are you, buddy?
I am good. I am standing in the beast of the belly, as I like to say. I am on the field at Dodger Stadium as we speak, right behind home plate. In fact, I'm about 10 feet from one Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, as they wrap up their pregame batting practice right now. I'll wave him over if you'd like, Woody.
No, it's fine. Everyone in here's booing out there at AleSmith. Have you gotten a chance to catch up with your old pal Dave?
I have not caught up with Dave. If he looks to out the corner of his eye to his left, he's going to see me right now. But I don't really know if I want that to happen at this moment. I think that could be very awkward, and I'm not sure what we would do if he started walking over here. But I'll let you know if he does, because
go step on his foot.
With one of the owners of the team right now, I believe. So
I wonder if that owner is telling him, "Hey, bud, listen, you better get this done." You know, and I hope he does. I hope we are treated to vintage playoff Dave Roberts right now. But no, I mean, listen, the focus obviously is on our beloved Padres. And I have heard some rumors. I've seen some rumors on Twitter, Benny. Freddie Freeman may not be in the lineup. Have not seen a Dodgers lineup out yet. Can you confirm?
I just saw him talking with Dave. He was walking out here. He wasn't swinging. He was just standing around the batting cages. I didn't see the entire warm-up. They're taking some infield and he was walking okay. I didn't notice any noticeable extreme limp, but what you saw the comments that, he thinks this is a 6 to 8 week injured list kind of injury, and he's going to try to play 10 days later. It reminded me, of course, of Manny Machado when he tried to play through last season, his really bad ankle, and played like the entire month of June, was it, that through that ankle injury? Yeah. He wasn't at his best, but, he wants to try to get out there for his team.
I think it changes the complexion of their lineup massively, obviously. I mean, you lose him in the 3-hole. Don't know what you do there. But listen, one thing we know about this Dodger team, Benny, is they're deep. They've got guys that can play. They're a big moment type team. They did not get it done last year, and much like how we didn't get it done last year, they didn't win a playoff game either, and neither did we last year. I have to imagine, they're feeling the pressure, the heat. Same pressure we felt going into the season of we can't get embarrassed again. We make too much money. We spend too much money here to get embarrassed again. So you've got kind of that wounded animal theory, scene going on with the Dodgers as well.
Yeah, I don't want to say they didn't take the Padres or Diamondbacks seriously the last 2 years, but there's definitely more of a, hey, you know what, we're in a dogfight battle, thought to them, that they're coming and playing like this is Game 7 of the World Series every single day. As you know, Woods, that's not always the best strategy, but, they've tried other strategies in the postseason, and they haven't necessarily worked for them in the past. So this time they're kind of coming, going let's just, run at 100 miles an hour right from the start and see if that gets us a little bit further in the postseason than we've been getting. So, yeah, you definitely see a team that looks like out there that okay, you know what, our season could be over in 3 days this time, and we're not going to think any other way. So, yeah, no, I mean, they're dangerous. They're maybe more dangerous than they've been in the past in certain respects.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. And they had that kind of attitude that I feel like the Padres had last year of, oh, no, we're going to roll out of bed and win. I literally was like, I will bet you anything I own that we win 100 games last year. Easily. Yeah, we'll get some guys injured, but, I mean, we're going to win 100 games. and it did not come to fruition. And now you've got two teams that are really, really good. Both teams are really, really deep. So tonight, Yamamoto on the mound has not fared exceptionally well against the San Diego Padres, but he's a different pitcher now than when we saw him.
Yeah, I'd like to think that holds some relevance, but I kind of have to throw most of that out the window. That was a long time ago. The two, one in Korea, obviously one early in the season. That was a big moment in Korea, and he came out and, he struggled against the Padres right away. I mean, he's human. I'm sure he's got a little bit of that on his mind as he comes out today, knowing that, that didn't work out well for him. So I'd imagine, like is always the case, if the Padres can get to him early, they'll get in his head a little bit, and they could really do some damage. And if he settles in, gets a scoreless inning or two, he's going to feel like, oh, yeah, that was long ago in the past, and I can get these guys out like I've been getting other teams out. And, it'll probably make a huge difference for him mentally going into this game.
Any updates on Game 2 starter Jack Flaherty? I know that they rejiggered their starting rotation, and that what they were telling people was, well, we want Yamamoto to be able to throw a Game 5. And listen, it's kind of a risk, I think, for the Dodgers to do, but because he has not been the big game pitcher. Not that Jack Flaherty really has in the postseason either, but he's certainly the more established veteran in the big leagues. Are you surprised that they went with Yamamoto tonight?
There's enough like seed of like what's going on here to make you at least wonder. I heard Craig on his show with Anna yesterday talking about, hey, mate, if there's a chance that he's hurt and might not be able to go, they could just be playing some gamesmanship and at least making the Padres think that, Jack Flaherty's going in Game 2. Why wouldn't they? I mean, that's a competitive advantage to keep your opponent in the dark as long as possible. I know the Padres aren't going to count on that or even expect that that's a possibility, but you wonder based on just, why would you make this change the last couple of days? You knew you were probably facing the Padres. You knew what the schedule was. This wasn't a surprise when you named Flaherty as your Game 1 starter. So why did you change it a couple of days before? Nothing literally has changed since the first time you made the decision. So what was it that caused you to move him back? There's got to be a kernel of something there.
Speaking of Colonel, we have Colonel Budget, Ben Higgins, on the phone with us live from Dodger Stadium. We miss you here, man. I wish you could see what we see right now. Just a sea of San Diego.
Yeah.
It is bananas, dude. I mean, this
Tell
is
everybody
nuts.
how much I miss them and how much I love them. I actually wish I was there and not here in the beast of the belly, but we'll have a good time. I'll be covering it for Channel 10 the next couple of days and hopefully have some really good stories on Monday morning from our trip. I know we're in a Colonel Budget hotel. We haven't even checked in yet. I'm not looking forward to that later today, like 5 minutes from Dodger Stadium. This isn't the best neighborhood, as you know, was. I was, hoping we get somewhere a little more high end. It doesn't look like it's happening. No Beverly Hills for me.
Just so you guys know, Ben did not tell us where he was staying this time. He didn't want any more special deliveries being delivered to his hotel room as much as we tried. So you're there tonight, you're there tomorrow, and then you'll
just
be back
tonight, and then we're driving back after the game tomorrow, and I'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after rolling in probably around 1:30 a.m. in San Diego on early Monday morning, late Sunday night.
I do not know how you do it, but we appreciate the effort, certainly. We love you, everyone. Say bye, Benny!
Bye, Benny!
Be careful
Love you,
up
everybody.
there.
Have a 394 for me. I definitely want one.
All right, watch your back up there, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, you don't know me at all. You hate me. Like, just don't say I don't. I never agree with anything he says about your team. I actually respect you guys. Dave's a good personal friend of mine. Just watch your back. You do what you have to do to get out of there alive.
He just looked over and saw me. I think I don't know. I think I better run at this point.
Hang up. All right.
I don't know what to do. I'm hanging up. Bye.
Bro, it's when I ran into Trevor Hoffman at the gym. I was walking in, he was walking out. He's like, bro, I played that prank that you guys did for Dave, and I felt like I was this big.
You're like, I didn't need to know that.
I didn't want to know.
I believe it, but I didn't need to know that.
He said, he was like concerned at first, and then he kind of started laughing. I'm like, bro, he is going to kick my ass one day. There is just no question about it. But, hey, it's all in good fun. Man, we have a group congregating up here. They got their money out. Yeah, it's about to be a mosh pit up here.
Everybody wants to buy these necklaces.
Right.
We've got
come right here.
We've got giveaways.
Form a line
throughout the rest of the broadcast
here
at
other
AleSmith. So if you're
away.
listening in your car, come on down. We're giving away Clippers and Nets preseason tickets up in
Basketball
Oceanside.
Woods, yes,
Basketball
sir.
Woodsy. Very excited about that. AleSmith's giving us some Padres colored jerseys and T-shirts to give away. We'll give all those away here during commercial breaks.
We also got $5 pints, $3.94 pale ale, hazy, $3.94 during the game, $10 rally pint special. Keep the glass, get $5 on $3.94 anytime till the end of the Padres playoffs. So Padres keep winning, you keep saving money, which is great. They got a golf simulator as well, bunch of TVs. You guys having fun in here so far? I'm having a blast. They got 3 food vendors, 2 food trucks, 1 pop-up outside. So we're going to be here till 4:30 today. Any word from our special guest?
He's on his way.
Okay, he's on his way.
All right,
when
he's here. We'll have quite a welcome. I am guessing.
It's going to be a really good welcome. Let's take a very, very quick break. I want to get rid of these and get these people back to their seats, having a good time and drinking some 394s. But if you're listening right now, come on down. Special edition of Ben and Woods, broadcasting live until 4:30 today. Getting you ready, man. Getting you ready for Padres Dodgers tonight. Playoff baseball back in San Diego, just like we wanted. All right, we'll be right back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Welcome back. Bennett Woods, 97.3 The Fan, live from AleSmith Brewing. We have a full house this afternoon. Getting ready for Padres Dodgers at 5:38. I recommend everybody syncing your radio tonight if you get the opportunity to sync your radio and listen to the great Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. call the game. Because I don't want to listen to Joe Davis and John Smoltz personally. That's just not good for me. But, man, I am very fired up right now. We have a very special guest. It's coming in to talk some baseball with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the great Darren Smith! Wow. Holy cow. Look at this guy. This is a moment on San Diego radio right here. Here we go. Settle in, my friend. Welcome back to the airwaves in San Diego. One of the best, in my opinion, that's ever done it in this town. Darren Smith joins us live from AleSmith. Hey, buddy.
What is up?
It's good to have
nice
you, man.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you.
I missed all of you. Good to see you guys.
We missed you,
too. It sounds
too.
great driving up. You guys sound amazing.
We are.
It's an exciting day. You can feel the energy.
It is insane. The energy is truly, truly insane. Everybody feels a little more relaxed today than they did against the Braves. I don't know why, because, well, I mean, this is a really tough task ahead. You know, 2 games at Dodger Stadium. But first of all, we have this. We've been working on this for a while to try to get Darren to come on and hang out with us and talk some baseball. But first of all, update everybody what you're doing now. Besides riding your bike all day, drinking beer, relaxing, not worrying about any of this mess.
Yeah. Well, my wife's here, actually. Leah's around here somewhere. You should ask her how she's enjoying my little break, my little hiatus away from radio. So.
Probably not at all.
Home projects, you know. Hey, that closet door needs to be fixed. Can you look it up on YouTube? How do you do that so we don't have to bring anybody in? No, it's been a welcome break. Like these are the times that I really miss being on radio. So, right? Like waking up in the morning, it's Padres, Dodgers. You know, it's the first thing you think about. But yeah, I mean, I'm just taking a little bit of time to get myself right. You know what I've been dealing with on my family side, not to bring the conversation down, but with my dad and trying to figure that whole thing out as we're getting through it. But, yeah, I've just been enjoying. Watching the Padres has been a totally different experience like this, not doing this, because it's just more – it's an enjoyable experience. You're not trying to pick apart, like, well, what's wrong, right? Like, what's going to prevent them from going to the World Series? So you just get to kick back and enjoy it and watch and absorb it all and just push the reset button for a while. 20 years was a long time. I'm pretty proud of it, but I'm okay to take a breath.
As you should be, man. And we had the chance to work with Darren at the old station before they literally, right in the middle of his show.
Who's on the air?
Twice.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. When we lost the radio signal, that was us. When we lost the stream, that was us too. Yeah. We were 0 for 2. There was something about our show that they just decided this is the time. Enough of this nonsense.
You just can't really wrap your head around, what that was like back then.
The second time, I didn't even bother sending a text to our boss. I was listening at home, and I go, ooh, I know what that means.
We went to the brewery that day and just said, well, that was it, I guess. Figure it out.
It's pretty nuts, man. And honestly, like, I thought about you the other day. Because our buddy Brian is over here. He takes pictures and does a bunch of stuff with us. Brian tweeted the other day. He said, this run has been great, but it doesn't feel right without hearing Darren Smith talk about it every day. And I felt the exact same way. You covered a ton of terrible Padres teams in your tenure in the last 20 years.
True.
But the thing I always liked about you, I knew I could tune in and I was going to get baseball talk, right?
Yeah.
You were never you never felt beholden to football like so many did. And it was one of the things I was like, oh, good. Here's a guy that likes baseball as much as I do. And that was always our MO when we started was like, hey, man, we're going to talk baseball. Like, people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
I think they like it. Yeah.
I think they like it. Yeah. You guys like when we talk baseball?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's, and that was the thing when, the one thing thank you. The one thing I've always wanted, I walk, like, if I'm done with radio forever, I swear, and I mean this, I walk away satisfied, right? I walk away grateful for everybody, people like you guys, people who listen for a long time, for a short amount of time. But I did just about everything I wanted to do except be on the radio when the Padres were in the World Series.
Yeah.
Like, that is literally the one thing that I always said from day one back in 2003, 2004 when I started doing this, that I wanted to do, right? They used to ask questions like, well, what would you prefer, a Super Bowl or a World Series, right? I'd be like, always for me, it's the World Series. It's in your city, the electricity of the gas lamp when it's on the road and you see this. Like, it's an incredible experience. So, I will certainly enjoy that. You know, I'm going to enjoy that if that's where this is all headed. But, yeah, that's the one thing. Like, that's the baseball part in me. Like, I just love talking ball and, you know, being around guys like you and Tim Flannery, Randy Jones, all those years, Nevin. You know, it's just, you know, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
No, and it's so weird. And did you feel snake bit at all? Like, the minute you go off the air, they're like,
I kind of hate you guys.
They're like, I totally get it.
I was like, these guys didn't sit through 100 losses.
Exactly. I would have been so bitter and been like, son of a.
Yeah, so that's I kind of felt that. I
We
was
had
like,
COVID,
man.
though.
Yeah.
We had the COVID.
We did have the COVID. Yeah, that was.
We went through that. I was like, yeah, you guys, you know, didn't say. Maybe Jabari Blash will be a good player, right? Like, I mean, we love that guy, but like, you know, you sort of had to make it up, and you know, especially we were the flagship back in the day. You're trying to get people to listen to the game.
100%.
And you know, sometimes you'd have to say things like, yeah, I don't know, this Calyx Crab, I think he's a player. You know, like, he might be a good coach. I mean, he might be a good infielder. I don't know.
I remember my very first time ever going down to the press box. I just started in sports radio, and I got my press credential, and I was like, this is insane that I get to go in here. And I was so excited because Joey Lucchese was on the bump, and we had heard so much about Joey Lucchese.
Joey Fuego.
And the Chirp. You guys remember the Chirp? This team has come an exceptionally long way, and an exceptionally long way. And it's funny, man. I'll tell you, some of the best radio I've ever heard. Darren Smith, AJ Preller. He's one of the. It was a battle every time you guys would chat.
Yeah, you should have heard the Sandy Alderson ones. I'm sure some of you were listening back in those days. But, you know, the thing about Preller, and I'm sure you guys know this, he grew up listening to New York sports talk. So, you know,
he's ready for it.
Yeah, he's got some thick skin. He understands it. He knows it comes with the territory. I don't think he never hangs up as like, oh, man, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. They were asking. You know, some people are wired that way. But, you know, I never got that sense from AJ. You know, he would even tell you sometimes off air. Now that, I could tell all the secrets.
Yeah, you can tell all the stories.
But, he'd say, like, you could go harder at me if you want. Like, you know, like, if you're holding back.
He's never said that to me.
I'm like, okay, well, you know, I will do what we do. You know, what we'll do. We're not pulling punches. But, you know, I always found him to be somebody who believed in accountability. And I appreciate that about AJ. I like AJ. I know people over the years, when you have one of these interviews, you know, people go, oh, if I were AJ, I'd never go back on your show again.
Sure.
Right? And like AJ's always like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's, you know, it's okay. Like, he calls you after interviews sometimes.
He's always had that I've got bigger fish to fry mentality, which I think is great for a GM. The fact that it took a decade, really, to get this thing going in the right direction. And he's made moves before where you went, oh, yeah, I totally understand why you would do this. This is a great move. Then it doesn't work out, and it's the nature of the business where you're like, what an idiot. Yeah. How could you sign, Carpenter and Nelly Cruz when at the time you're like, these are genius moves. $1 million for Nelly Cruz. And
clubhouse leader.
He got his eyes fixed. He's got LASIK. He's going to mash. Yeah. And it doesn't work, and you have to be the fall guy. He's lucky in a sense that he's gotten the leash that he has, but this year to see literally almost every button just boop, 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 they're all coming up green.
Yeah, and I know the executive of the year stuff's probably been tossed around here and elsewhere. So, I don't know, like what that really is worth, but I think you're right. I just when I went to the game the other night, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine about last year, this year, right? Because it's still every once in a while it still pops up in conversation, even though it doesn't matter at all today.
Not even a little.
But like Donovan Solano can do some things that like Matt Carpenter and Nelly Cruz just couldn't do, right? Like it's just a better.
It's a better AB. It's a better presence.
It's some there's some flexibility there. There's some versatility there, right? These guys can do some things that those guys are kind of like. It's like putting me on the bench.
Right.
I don't do anything.
Well, I can cheerlead. Yeah, 100%.
There was like weeks where guys were not getting any at bats. So, I just think it's all worked out. And I don't know if it's like because I learned from last year, or just because, hey, you know, in this sport, sometimes it doesn't make sense the way things happen or don't happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? Like the extra inning stuff. I mean, White Sox have more extra inning wins this year than last year's Padres. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. But, you know, I don't know. It's just everything's clicking this year. Like the managers, when he's calling hit and runs, they're working. Like all these things are just clicking, and like it's the complete opposite from last year.
It is absolutely 180 degrees. We are joined by Darren Smith live at AleSmith. We got a full house here. Talking Padres baseball for another hour. You can hang out for a while.
Yeah,
All right,
I
cool.
see my wife's got a full beverage over there, so
All
I don't
right.
think she's going anywhere.
Is
it okay with her and Corey Stewart? I don't know.
I don't know. You got to watch his wandering hands. But yeah,
I recognize the table though. I think she's in good company. I see my boy Steve, so I think she's okay in that group.
It's such a pleasure to have Darren join us talking baseball. He's the voice that I know I've been certainly talking about this team. Make some noise, Padres fans. We got a big one tonight. Let's talk about tonight's matchup when we come back in the series matchup that is.
We got a Dodger lineup out.
Oh, we got a Dodger lineup. Okay. Oh, he's in there. All right. We'll get it to you guys next, right here on 97.3 The Fan. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome back to a special edition of Ben and Woods here, live from AleSmith. Well, we've got a wrinkle. We got a couple wrinkles actually here. Number one, joined by Darren Smith is here, everybody. Make some noise. Talking baseball. Well, we just had some Dodger fans walk in. They want to watch the game. Hey, listen, welcome. Hey, put those beers on my tab. I got it. You know what? We have to love our enemy, right? That's how we do it. Keep your friends close and your enemies.
Until 5:38.
Until 5:38, you guys are welcome.
And then you guys upstairs.
Yeah, and then we need you gone. But, yeah, man, we're getting ready for some Padres baseball just, a couple hours away. And we got a Dodger lineup, Paulie. And I think a lot of people are surprised. Freddie Freeman is going to make an appearance tonight. At least he's going to start at first base. I know he's a little limited mobility right now, but again, that's their A lineup they're running out there tonight. Shohei Ohtani at the top, no surprise there, the hottest hitter in baseball, no question. Mookie Betts behind him with a lot to prove this October. Freddie Freeman playing first base.
Yeah.
And who did that?
Teoscar Hernandez in left, Max Muncy at third, Will Smith behind the plate, Lux, Edman, Rojas to round it out.
Yeah, and you got some guys banged up in there. Freddie is banged up. Rojas had an oblique injury. He was out the last 5 games or so. So they got some guys banged up. But listen, man, no excuses. That's one of the highest payroll teams. You have the best player on the planet maybe we've ever seen at the top of your lineup tonight. And then, 3 MVPs.
And like you said, he's playing first, right?
Yeah.
Because what can you do with Ohtani?
Can't do anything.
Right? So it's not like an Arise situation where you could do this and that and mix things around. But like now, not just 4 at-bats a game or whatever it is. Now he's also got to be around the bag a little bit.
Yep.
So, who knows? Holding runners on, all that sort of stuff.
It's really interesting to see. I think, again, obviously you got 2 lineups chock full of superstars and guys that have done it in October. With Freddie and Mookie, and then Xander, of course, got a couple of rings for us. And you've got guys that have gotten the job done, but what's going to be the most, I love the players, and I love them going head-to-head. To watch Schilt against Roberts is like, I'm salivating for this. I mean, I really am. And if you're Dave Roberts, we've talked about a lot this week. You've got some things that probably keep you up at night. Moves that you've made or didn't make in the postseason. It's like every manager, except for maybe Boach. Maybe Boach is the only one. Maybe Joe Torre. Those guys look, I did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But when you get down to Dave Roberts, he's got some ghosts, and you wonder how palpable those ghosts will feel in the dugout if Yamamoto gets into a little bit of trouble in the second, or after 2 2/3. Is he going to you pull the ripcord right away and go to some of their big power arms? I'm so fascinated to see how both these skippers try to manage their club.
Right, and if you get to the Dodgers early, like, at what point does it set in? Like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
You know, is this happening again? That's the thing the Padres fought back from 2 years ago in the NLDS when they got shellacked in that first game, but put up a little bit of a fight late in the game, made the Dodgers go to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Remember that first game, even though it was a loss, that's where he went, oh, because listen, deep down you go, oh, man, is this happening again?
Yep.
The Dodgers just run right through the Padres. But then, game 2, like a little counterpunch there, end of game 1. At what point will the Dodger crowd, which, I don't know, did they sell out? Will they start going, man, like, we've sort of seen this movie. Like, what's going on around here? We can't match up with this team. This just feels like the year previous and the year previous to that and all those other postseason failures as well. So, yeah, I do. I think having that big crowd, that might work against them a little bit, right? Like the crowd, all of a sudden start shuffling around. If things don't go well early on in the game and you can get to Yamamoto for a couple runs. All of a sudden it's like, what was this all about again? What was another 90-plus 6-win season for what? To lose to a division rival?
Punch him in the mouth. That's what you did against Atlanta. It worked out. You had obviously the home crowd, but I mean Tatis on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday when you have Manny Machado, bases loaded and he strikes out, and it just kind of deflates a little bit.
Me and Paulie were there, and
I was at that one too.
When he K'd in that, I was just like, just wretched. Like, oh my God, no! Like a lazy fly ball gets you on the
But to
floor.
answer in the second, the way they did with 6 straight hits, whatever it was, I mean, you punched them right in the mouth early on and set the tone.
Yeah, and you know what I loved about that too? And I'm sure, I know you guys have discussed this. Fried gets out of bases loaded, nobody out. He gets the first batter, second batter of the second inning. Mm-hmm. He's 1-2. He's ahead 1-2 on Higashioka.
9-hole.
And he's thinking, hey, I'm just going to blow some cheese past him, be done with the second inning. Bang, homer.
Yep.
Flip the lineup. Arise comes. Tatis comes. Right? So then you can think about how you're one pitch away from getting out of the inning with a lead going into the third, because he didn't even throw a ton of pitches in that first inning. And you get out of that with Higashioka turns the lineup over, which was so important.
So huge.
Then it just avalanches. 5 runs later, place is going bananas.
We've talked so much about the top 3, and not just us, in the national media as well, the top 3 of the Dodgers. But I don't know, man, like pretty formidable top 7 in the Padres lineup right now. Top 6 at least. And what if Luis Arise can get on in the first inning, I think we will exhale.
Yeah.
Much like we did when Toddy hit that bomb the other night. I mean, you could feel the entire city just go. All the tension was gone. And I'll tell you what, the key tonight for me, though, is Dylan. If he can lock in, not get super frustrated, I think you go right after Shohei. I mean, I think you go right after that dude today. And if he hits a home run off you, so be it. He's hit 2 off the cease in his career, so be it, man. It's 1-0. You bear down and get the next guy. But I'm so excited to see how he does. I'm so excited to see Schultz against Roberts, the moves that they make or don't make. It's going to be great. And not a lot of credit's been given to what Friedman's done in the bullpen there.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's nasty.
Yeah,
And
both bullpens are.
We talked, too, about some of the moves that Padres have made this year. And I called it maybe 6 weeks ago. I think I said they're making big boy decisions. Finally. Mm-hmm. They're not super worried about hurt feelings anymore. And I think, you covered the team a long time. You would see guys maybe get a little bit too much rope here. And this year, they're like, sorry, man, not getting the job done. Thanks for your help. We're going to send you down. Matt Waldron 5 years ago gets 5 more starts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think recently, and I feel terrible for Musgrove, right? We all do. Everybody does. But even his last regular season start was in L.A., I think.
Yeah.
And that was one where I was like, this would have gone longer, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But, things don't work out. But it would have gone longer in the past, like you said.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to go, hey, players don't just decide, pitchers don't decide when they come out of these games anymore. And that was kind of going on here over the last couple of years.
No doubt.
I will tell you when I will come out of these games.
Right.
For the most part. And, with some exceptions, obviously. It's not like, Bowmel didn't have any authority. But those pitchers would say, no, I'm good or I'm not. Now it's a little different. When you see what you see and you don't feel good about it,
pull the cord. Yeah, pull the ripcord.
You go.
Luis Campusano, he's another one. You know, it's like Luis Campusano, he finishes the year with this team 5 years. He just does. And they decided, no, we need some help.
Right.
And they made big boy moves. But I think the Dodgers made a couple of big boy moves when they released their roster. They left Joe Kelly, veteran pitchers, pitched in some huge games. They're like, sorry, not happening.
Right.
We're going to bring the kid up. What is his name?
No.
I can't remember. The kid throws 104 miles an hour. He's really nasty. And then they left Kelly off and Kershaw, who's got the show.
Right.
But again, it's just like you feel like 5 years ago, Dave Roberts was like, let's get him in there. We'll find an inning or two for him. They're also making big boy decisions. And like Ben mentioned when he called in, there's a different attitude about them. I'm terrified. That's how I feel genuinely. And I know that their starting rotation isn't what it usually is. I'm still terrified of that team, and they've earned that right.
Yeah, and we all have done this long enough to know predictions, right?
Yeah.
Online predictions, television predictions. I know everybody keeps receipts now.
Oh,
all
yeah,
that sort
big
of stuff.
time.
But even reading The Athletic this morning, they did all their DS predictions, all their Division Series predictions. I think there are 15 writers for The Athletic. 12 of them predicted the Padres to advance.
Which I hate.
Including, Sarah Shagai, Katie Wu, who's obviously a huge friend of the show.
Yep.
So, when has that ever happened? We're 12 out of 15 at this stage, right? For the second place team starting up against that. But that's sort of where we're at. It's all, everything's winning based now. That's like you're talking moves.
Yeah.
It's not about your feelings. It's not about your contract. Everything is done about how do we win the next game.
And it's not like I'm not going into this series confident. I am. And every time I've lost even a shred of confidence about this team, they have punched me right in the mouth. Yeah. They've had a huge comeback or a dominant performance by a guy. Clutch knocks up and down the lineup. But, when you look at this series, when you look at the Padres lineup, for you, who's it got to be? Who's got to earn their paycheck?
Well, I mean, it's such a hard question because you could say any name and you'd be right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Manny, but Toddy in that building. Jackson Merrill's batting fifth. Right? I mean, his trajectory is incredible all season long with what's going on. Profar, for me, team MVP for not only statistically based, but emotionally inside of the clubhouse, what he brings, he can sort of flick Manny's ear every once in a while, right? So that I think, it's a tough question to answer, but I just think a guy like a series like this has Jurickson and Profar written on it. For some reason, and I know he's not the most popular, because Toddy's cranking out homers and 7 in his last 17.
Oh, but
and
he's
Manny's
an
on a tear
irritant for LA.
Oh yeah,
he is an irritant.
He's an irritant against every team. It's funny.
Profar?
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah,
I
please
know
do.
About my guy AJ Hinch once said this, and he said, we've got plans for everybody. And I was asking him who's tough, playing the Padres. He's like, we have a plan for Manny.
Sure.
Sliders
down and away.
He's like, Manny's so good that he can foil our plan because his plan's sometimes going to be better than ours.
Yep.
We got a plan for Aaron Judge, but he's so good that he can. He's like, I don't have any plan for Profar. He's like, I don't know what the hell the guy's going to do. He's like, I hate facing guys like Jurickson Profar. I never know what we're supposed to do with him. We could show hot zones. We can say where we think we're supposed to pitch. But he will swing at something down here. Yep. He'll swing at something here. And you go, hey, that wasn't in the scouting report. You're like, that's Jurickson Profar. I hate facing guys like that.
I got to imagine, too, there's that kind of vibe with Luis Ariz. I mean, he's the most frustrating guy for a guy to a pitcher. The old Tony Gwynn adage of, screw it, here's my fastball. He's not going to hit it out of the ballpark.
Right.
Let him take a single, try to roll him up on a double play with Tatis next. And, it's so frustrating. Now, obviously the key for LA, everyone says Shohei. I really think the key for LA is Mookie Betts. I just think he is the one where you look at and go, man, he had such egg on his face last year. Yeah. I mean, and then the podcasting in the middle of the series.
Is he trying to do that again?
It's just like, bro.
Who's the next Padre to go on the Mookie Betts podcast?
It's like, all right, you can do that podcast, but you better match. Yeah. It's like anything. You want to steal third base, you better make it.
Yeah.
If you make it, it was smart. If you didn't, you were a moron.
Nobody cares about your process or what it was that you saw.
No.
You care about the result.
Result,
That's
and especially in the playoffs, man, it is 100% results-based business. But for me, like, I didn't see people online go, no, Xander and Crony, they got a hit. I'm like, they're at the bottom, Crony's at the bottom of the lineup. For him, I need him to play good defense. I need him to play good defense. I feel like he's going to get a big knock. He usually does. He's a great baseball player. Runs the base as well. All that stuff. He's gonna win the inches, I think. But yeah, I think it's Toddy, Manny.
Yeah.
Merrill, I'm not going to put any pressure on at all.
It doesn't matter anyway.
He doesn't put any on himself, and it doesn't matter if you do.
How's Merrill going to be in his first ever playoff game? Runs around the
Yeah.
bases, triples, and cranking and sliding, dirtiest guy out there on the field, energetic as he ever was.
He's been incredible to watch. Dylan Cease is going to be. He needs to be big tonight.
Yeah.
He needs to be really, really big.
Last time wasn't great, but
Yeah.
would you take it? Would you take?
Oh, you take
5 and
5
3
innings
earns?
and 3 earned.
Would you take it?
Tonight? No.
No.
I need 6-1. I need 6 innings, 1 earned run, and I think we win that game going away. But I like what you said. Profar for me too is he's in the 3-hole, man. He's a 3-hole hitter
For a reason.
He's batting cleanup tonight.
Who is? Profar's back clean.
Arise, right?
Third.
Manny's
fourth.
Manny's in the 4th.
Merrill's up to 5th again.
Merrill's
It's
fifth.
incredible. What a
I know.
story. What an amazing trajectory this whole year with Jackson Merrill. It's
down with
my
him.
favorite story.
It's funny, man, because we sat down with him in spring training, and you get to know him a little bit. And Ben was like, he's very cocky. He kept saying cocky. And I'm like, bro, I think he's just confident. And he's like, that cockiness can come back to bite you. And I told Benny, I go, you can't be doing what he does and not have confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Is he young and dumb? Maybe a little bit when he first got up. But, you're talking about a kid playing a brand new position on day one. And talk about team MVPs. He should get some votes as well. He's
leading the team in I think Baseball Reference WAR, if you're into that.
Yep.
Yeah, and to have the confidence, like when you could tell, when he knew he could hit big league pitching, then the power came, right? I remember standing by the cage with Tony Gwynn. And we were standing there, and I was just asking him what he sees with him. He's like, he now knows a couple months in, that's when he started hitting. And then all the late inning theatrics. Yeah. And he's become a marquee idol, right? Like he's just become this incredibly, insanely popular player in such a short amount of time. I was on the trolley. I don't know what your guys' clocks are.
No, we got
you got about 5 minutes.
I was taking the trolley up from IB to downtown. And, as you go stop by stop, more and more Padre fans get on the trolley. And this father, you'll love this. I mean, this father and son get on together, and they're wearing matching City Connect Jackson Merrill jerseys.
So great.
And so, I sort of take notice of this. I'm in my phone doing whatever. And I notice I could see the backs of their jerseys, and I see the dad take out his phone, and he's looking up something, for the game. And then he takes the phone out, and he's going to take a selfie with him and his son. And his son turns to look at the camera, and he's got the eye black. He's got the Jackson Merrill eye black on. He's got a glove, and I'm like sitting there like having a, oh, wow, like what a, like I was I was emotional about it. I was like, what a great, what a cool thing for these two to bond on Jackson. You know
where it changed for me with Jackson Merrill is he'd only been on the team a couple of months. We were finishing up my son Bo's T-ball season, and he is an infielder, and he's his favorite player. He wants grounders. That's all he ever wants. About 2 months into the season, Dad, I want fly balls. Dad, hit me some fly balls. Dad, I want fly balls. I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah. I go, nobody hits fly balls at T-balls. What are we doing? He's like, Jackson Merrill, I want fly balls. So an hour before T-ball game, he'd be out there, and I'd be throwing him fly balls. He'd be diving all over the field, and I actually told Jackson's mom that story, and I told Jackson that story. You know what Jackson told my son? Stay in the infield. That's exactly what he told my son. That's great. Stay in the infield. He is such a quintessential baseball player.
He is. He's straight out of Central Casting.
Straight out of it.
Like, what does a baseball player look like? Boom, here you go.
We used to call him, when I was in high school, we used to call him Joe Baseball. Oh, man, look at this guy. He looks like Joe Baseball. That's Jackson Merrill to a T.
Certain guys, him, Manny, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, like that's what it is. That's what they look like.
It's that guy.
I mean, they're all shapes and sizes, obviously, but
yep.
That's it. I know it when I see it, and you see it right there.
Darren Smith is with us live from AleSmith. Are those Dodger fans still here?
I think
You
they
guys
went
run the
outside.
night. They went
I
outside.
went outside.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what? I tip my hat. It takes a lot of balls to walk in here and go, you know what? I'm going to go have a beer
They
here.
know what they're walking
They know
into.
what they're walking into.
And I don't know how comfortable, like not just here, like this series
I
would
know.
make you uncomfortable.
I know.
Like, oh man, a couple straight years of this
I
sort
know.
of stuff.
I know, man.
Knowing the Padres were 8-3 during the regular season, which doesn't mean much,
It doesn't.
but it doesn't mean nothing to
True.
me. I don't think it means nothing, but
I will say, man, their fans are still supremely confident, which is weird to me. But I mean, after all of the October missteps, their fans never stop yapping.
what else do they have?
That's it.
I mean, that's all they have.
That's it.
Is online, trash talk.
That's it, man. I want to talk about some of the key moments this season, and I'll tell you, I'm going to go back to a moment because I've always been a little bit lippy on Twitter. If you guys didn't know, I'll get lippy. I don't mind.
True?
When I saw this guy here getting fired up for a specific moment this season, in my opinion, it's one of the moments that turned the season around, if not the moment. I think you know what I'm talking about. I want to talk about that next. If you can stay. You got time? You got
She
the
gave me the thumbs up.
Thumbs
so
up
we got
from
a
the
thumbs
Y?
up. So she's
All
like,
right,
okay.
One more segment. I also want to hear, I know you've got a good Peter Seidler story.
Yes.
I know you've got one from your relationship with him for all those years,
Yep.
every opening day broadcast. I want your favorite Peter Seidler story because
Okay.
we were talking about it earlier. You know,
Yeah.
we've been calling it the heavenly touch
Yeah.
on this season for 2024 for the Padres. It's just, how can you deny it?
Yeah.
Speaking of heavenly touch, I have no idea how the New York Mets continue to do this, but they continue to. They are
They're
now
rallying.
leading 5-1
5 in the 8th.
in
right?
the
All five
bottom
in
of
inning?
the eighth inning.
Yep.
Is that off Strami, by the way?
I think he did come in.
One. Oh,
All right.
It's all right, settle down back
take it
there,
easy.
Italian Paul Met fan running the board. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to hear this on,
Let him have his moment of
on
glory.
Padres playoff day. He is so happy. This is crazy. This is absolute crazy devil magic that they are working with. We hope we can bottle some of that tonight up in Chavez Ravine. We're going to take a break here in just a second. As soon as I hear that music firing up, Paulie. Darren's
About a minute.
Okay, we got about a minute left. Darren's going to stay with us, hang out. You guys having fun in here? Before we go, we need one big toast. Everybody try to circle up. I'll put my credit card down. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll keep the good vibes going tonight. We're going to get a toast before we split. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for I mean this. Thank you guys for inviting.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys. I think everybody here knows the quality of human beings that you guys are. But when my situation, right? I'll be careful. When it happened, these were some of the first people to reach out, and I appreciate that because I
Our
know
pleasure.
we're competing and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes your competitiveness might.
You're jerks in Profar. We don't have a plan for Darren Smith. And if Darren's on your team, you're like, hell yeah. And when you have to compete against him, you're like, oh no, dude.
Paul sent me the nicest text message that I think I've ever received in my life. So I will forever be appreciative for not just what you guys do and what you represent in this town. You are the standard.
Thank you, man.
But
You are the
also for just the kind of people that you are.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much. Darren Smith joins us. We got what? One more segment, Paulie?
Two more segments. 4:30.
Let's get those beers going. Live from AleSmith, Ben & Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back to a special edition of Ben and Woods minus Ben, but plus Darren Smith joins us here talking baseball. Man, missed his voice. Certainly, talking about this team for the last couple months. We have a winner, though, Paulie. You wanted me to announce.
Yes.
Jerry Kappas, are you still here, buddy? Jerry, are you here, pal? You're a big winner. Jerry, come on up, collect your prize.
There you go.
Perfect.
Nice.
Jerry, you get to do the last 30 minutes, taking my shift, my friend, so I can go have a beer with our audience here. There we go. Get some picks in.
Ben will not tell you guys where he's staying.
He wants. Did you hear what we did to him?
I did not.
Okay.
I want more. I heard it on the way up.
We sent him. He went on a golf trip about 3 weeks, a month ago, and he happened to mention where he was staying on his golf trip. So Paulie and I thought it would be fun if he showed up, and there was a special friend waiting for him there, and it was. It was how would you describe it, Paulie? How did you describe it? I don't describe it the way you described it the first time. I think you said receptacle. And it was, I'll just show you a picture. There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so he showed up, and it was there.
Inanimate object.
An inanimate object, and in case he got lonely, it was there for him. So he will not share with us the location of where he's staying on this trip up to L.A., which is smart.
And where is that inanimate object?
So now he is
receptacle.
We don't know. He told me. He shoved it down the leg of a pair of jeans, and it's like tucked at the bottom of his closet. So, funny thing is, he hasn't thrown it away.
Right.
He hasn't thrown it away, but we are.
Ben's always prepared.
He's always prepared.
It's like he said the other day. Hey, if you're going to the game, make sure you wear your sunscreen. Right?
Darren texts me. He goes, "Never change.
Never change, Ben.
Never ever change.
Wear your sunscreen. Make sure it's just a SPF 30. That's what your dermatologist recommends.
He is something else,
He's the
man.
best.
The dude works his tail off. He's up in L.A. right now. We'll be back Monday live with you guys, but we got a couple segments left here at AleSmith. Man, it's been an incredible day. Just an incredible day. A listener just walked up to me and said, "Woodsy, I got a surprise for you." And he said, "I used to work at D'Amato." And he said, you were playing a baseball game at D'Amato. You hit a home run at D'Amato, and you left. He goes, "I have your home run ball." There he is. He brought one of my 3 home runs I've ever hit in my whole life, and I have it, and I'm so happy. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And he put it in a nice glass box, so it goes right on the mantle.
Sick.
I mean,
where's your dig me room in your house? You must have a dig me room.
I'll put it right in my office. This is like the coolest thing. Thank you so much for bringing this in. I can't believe it. Oh, there's the Dodger fan. Boo! I'm just kidding, bro. Good luck. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to you, man.
Go.
Good luck
Tap it
to
up.
you.
Everybody
Tap
good.
it up. It's all just theatrics. Darren Smith joins us live, and I'll tell you, we had the chance to know Peter the last couple of years. The spring training we spent with him a couple of years ago was incredible. And we've got the chance to know his wife, Sheila, over the last year. Just a real loss for not only the San Diego Padres. I mean, really, that's a secondary loss. What he meant to the community, obviously what he means to his family, and I think about his kids a lot. And to have the legacy that he has, though, in this town, you got a chance to know Peter way longer than us. You spent a lot of time with him. Share with everybody a couple of your memories.
Yeah, I mean, Peter and Sheil were, Sheil still is such a sincere person, and I'm so happy that she is a bit more active on social media because you still feel so connected to the family through Sheil. And she is somebody who just you can have real conversations with these people. It doesn't just have to to be on the professional level. But with Peter. He's another one, an adult in the room, somebody who doesn't need to, to be sucked up to all the time. Somebody who said, if we're bad, you should say that we are bad.
Said the same thing to us.
You are please do that.
100%.
Please do not sugarcoat this stuff. If we deserve to take a hiding, you should give us one. So, I always appreciated that about him because I don't think everybody, when Peter was in the background was wired that way.
Right.
But, he was, and I like that about him. He's we all know Peter's done a million things that he never took credit for publicly. We all understand that. And that includes for me. Just, my relationship with the team 6-7 years ago was not great. And Peter said, I want you to not be uncomfortable.
Right.
Who am I? I'm a nobody. I'm a talking head. I do know. And he made that effort. And I know you said what's a story. Like the first one that always comes to my mind, and I'm sure one or two of you may have heard it. He always used to hear Lee Jenkins on our show when Lee Jenkins was working for Sports Illustrated, and a dyed-in-the-wool Padre and Charger fan, somebody who would cover the NBA and all other sports for Sports Illustrated. He's a brilliant writer. He works with the Clippers now. But he would hear Lee come on the show and talk about the Brown. He would hear him, and Peter said, I want to meet this Lee Jenkins guy.
Wow.
He said, and if Lee's listening, and I don't think he'd mind me telling this story, because it speaks to Peter. He goes, I want to meet this Lee Jenkins guy because I want to know. I want to know what his experience as a San Diego sports fan have been like, because I love his passion, and he's a basketball fan. Peter was, so he wanted to talk some hoops with him. And so we meet in Bird Rock at a coffee shop in Bird Rock, and Lee and I are there first, and here comes Peter, baggy clothes and his big jug of water and pajamas on. Here's this billionaire owner of the Padres. And he just wanted to know what it was like when the teams won. Was he old enough to remember 84? Tell me about 98. Tell me about 94 with the Chargers. Tell me why this matters. Tell me why Brown matters to you.
Amazing.
And it wasn't like we're meeting with the owner of the Padres, right. And instead of us saying, well, what do you think of this? What do you think? He's like, I want to know what you think. Talk to me. And I know Lee wasn't the only one that he did that with. He was very curious. He went back. He would watch old VHS tapes converted into digital copies of celebrations from 84 and 96 and 98. He would see people driving up and down Garnett Avenue or 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. He would just want to know what the city was like when it won, because he wanted to see the joy that sports brought to people in San Diego, and then he wanted to deliver that joy, but to the next level.
Incredible.
And who does stuff like that?
Dude, you're right.
Owners come in and they go, listen, this place is Loserville.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what we're going to do. You losers don't know how to win anything. And Peter never did that. He said, tell me what matters to you, and we will just try to make it work in that capacity. He came here to listen genuinely. You say that stuff all the time. A lot of people don't mean it.
Right.
He meant it. He was sincere with that, and he wanted to hear it from people who were privately and publicly very vocal and very proud of the city, and very proud of the sports that they that have never won them on the biggest stage. But that's Peter in a nutshell.
Brilliant.
It's
brilliant. And the funny thing is I go yesterday to pick my son up from school, and I run into Tim Flannery, and I had the honor of coaching his grandson Jesse, and I love Jesse and I love Flannery so much, and we got to talking about Peter as well, and he goes, man, I wouldn't be at fantasy camp, I wouldn't be involved again with the Padres if it wasn't for Peter reaching out and saying, you are an important person to me. It's important to me that you're in.
You're our history.
You're our history.
I want you to feel comfortable
and
here.
He brought him in opening day, sitting down there with Peter. He literally told me that story yesterday at school pickup.
Yeah.
And I love Flan. I love Tim Flannery.
And if you don't mind, Peter said, can I have Tim Flannery's number?
Yeah.
So I said, here's Flan's number, and that's how that started.
Dude.
He's like, because he would get wind of, Flan on Twitter once in a while, right? You could run a little hot, you'd be into the, he'd be redlining. But he said, I don't want this guy to feel like we don't want him here.
Yeah.
I don't want Jake Peavy feeling like he's he's excommunicated from the Padres. These are people that are part of our history, and people can laugh at the history of the Padres.
Sure.
Does it compare to the Dot? No. But it's our history,
right?
And it's important to us. It's important to us, and people can say whatever they want. He valued that and wanted to make sure that people, that he wanted everybody to know he understood them.
Yeah.
I understand you. I get it. I know what you're all about, and I know what you meant, and I know how you feel, and that's what a good owner. That's a great owner. That's not a good owner. That's a great owner.
And the thoughtfulness, is certainly getting a chance to spend some time with him and his wife, and the thoughtfulness that he exuded. It's something I've tried to take and be that way, and it's not easy for me. It's not really who I am all the time, but what an example he was. Him sitting out at spring training when it was 30 degrees, we're out there dying, and he's not feeling well at this point, and him sitting patient. I'm a bigger diva with $60 in the bank than Peter Seidler was. I'd be like, let's go. When's my spot? I thought I was jumping on with you guys. I'm freezing my ass off out of here. Not him, man. He sat and waited, got on the air, not feeling great, and did 45 minutes with us.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just an incredible day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a terrible loss. I mean, it's one that you just feel all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. And for whatever reason, man, well, we know the reasons, but these guys have grabbed onto that and really are playing hard. And watching Joe walk off the mound and pat the heart the other night, Chris Ello pointed out, I hadn't seen it, and I went back and watched, and it brought me to tears. I was like, holy smokes, man, this is not lip service. Just like him, he wasn't about lip service. He was about action and doing the right thing, being the right kind of teammate. And the last segment of the day, I want to talk about 2024 in particular. You hear things, I hear things. This has been the quietest year in the 6 years that I've been covering the team. It has been so insanely quiet because it seems that everyone, this is not BS. This team camaraderie, they are together. The stuff that I got leaked to me last year, I was like, oh my God, we are never winning a game.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be lucky to win a game. The turnaround, the 180 in just a short time has been tremendous. It's been tremendous. So when we come back, we'll do one more segment. We'll get out of your hair, get ready for Padres, Dodgers, playoff baseball.
Is this it? You got to run?
I think my wife just ordered another.
Get another beer?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. All right. We're going to do a
If you want
toast.
me, please.
No, I want you.
I know what it's
Stay
like
here.
when you get a guest on set. You're like,
No,
I really
stay
want
here.
this person to leave.
No, never, ever. You're more than welcome to stay. In fact, I'll leave, start drinking some beers.
We'll draw one more winner here for some basketball tickets.
All right, we'll do one more winner here. We
haven't
got
signed up.
AleSmith merch to give away as well. Paulie, decide how we want to give that stuff away.
We'll
We're going
just
to be
draw a
down here
bunch
till
of
4:30, so if you're close, stop by, say hello, take a picture, do whatever you want. We'll be right back. Ben and Woods live from AleSmith, and we'll get you ready for some playoff baseball. Make some noise, everybody. All right, we are back live at AleSmith. They're not booing us. They're booing the Dodger fans that are walking through there. God, they got some stones being here. We're live at AleSmith. A couple more giveaways to give away.
Let's just do this right now on the air.
All right.
First, we got one more pair of Clippers Nets basketball tickets.
All right, Ryan Miller, you are
Ryan
a big winner.
Miller, come on up. Thank you.
And then what are these for, Paulie?
We got AleSmith. We'll do the jersey.
All right.
Thank you to AleSmith for having us. Thank you for the drinks, and thank you for the cool Padres-themed jersey. Who's that?
Sweet.
We got Sylvia Cortez.
Sylvia,
got a jersey for you. Here she is right here. Michelle Hendrickson and Maggie Padilla. Padilla, I think. You're also a winner. Come on up. Oh, Maggie's the girl. Her husband asked me, I'm not kidding when I said, her husband asked me to sign her boot over her shirt. It's the first time I feel like Brett Michaels. It's the first time I've ever done that before.
You know, we did. We used to do a.
You get the jersey to her, Paulie?
what's that?
She went. Are you Maggie? Oh, you're Michelle. All right.
Right over there. He'll take care of you in the.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
We did a celebrity bartending thing a million years ago where a bunch of the Padres and Chargers came out there.
Yeah.
It was for breast cancer awareness. We called it Beer for Boobs.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you know, I had a little Khalil Green look to me. You can probably find these pictures on the internet if you want.
I'm going to need to see
I will say
those.
these pictures were good enough that I landed my wife out of them.
That's true.
So, you know, that
It was
wasn't
the 90s, a soul patch?
something
Little
like
soul
that,
patch, little something?
Yeah, frosted tips. And somebody mistook me for Khalil Green at the bar. She's like, oh, same thing, Beer for Boobs. Would you mind signing? I was like,
Be my great pleasure.
I said, of course, I am Khalil Green, and I will be happy to
Did you
sign
sign
this breast.
Khalil Green or Darren Smith?
Oh, I signed Khalil
Green,
I was
amazing.
Like, hey, somebody, you know, I don't want any part of that. I'll just do what I do. And you think I'm Khalil Green? Who am I to tell you I am not Khalil Green?
And who am I to turn down the opportunity to sign, you know, with her husband's approval?
Yeah, and it was like out.
Pen's just shaking.
Yeah, I was like, are you sure you want me to do this?
Yeah.
I will do it.
You're looking around.
You're
That's
brave.
good.
In the age of social media,
I
that's,
know. This is what Ben is missing out on, you know, being up in L.A., but he'll be watching the game live from the press box tonight at Dodger Stadium. I got to imagine that place is going to be pretty nasty tonight, man. I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about, hey, we need to be loud. I'm seeing their radio hosts. Now, the cool thing about being a radio host in San Diego, I have never had to tell you guys, when you go to a game, be loud and be nuts and be wild. San Diego does it right. The way that this town has turned into such a baseball town is truly incredible, man. And Darren, you were here for a long time covering it. It wasn't always this way. You always had baseball fans. And like we talked about when you jumped on with us, you always talked baseball. I got here in 2010, and I was doing a morning show, kind of a wacky morning zoo, but I would get off the air. We'd have long meetings on this one. I'd get in the car, and I'd hear you talking baseball always. And I always appreciated that because at that time, it was still very much Charger heavy. And I had no connection not only to the Chargers, but to football really in general. Yeah. I grew up in Dallas. I mean, I still was like, I like to tune into sports radio when they lost because that was elite radio.
Yeah.
Elite radio. Once a week, you tune in and just, this guy's got to go, and he wasn't hitting his gaps right, and he can't catch, and you're like, oh, my God, it was great radio. But I just didn't have a connection to the game. I never played it really, and to log on or to tune in back in the day to 1090 and always hear you talking baseball, you know, that's what drew me to it.
Well, you know, it always felt like it was my personal preference.
Right.
Number one, because, you know, I'm with you. Like, I was okay with the NFL. I didn't grow up like a big diehard NFL. You know, that wasn't me. It was much more going to baseball games growing up where I grew up. You know, you go to this game, that game, who's coming to town, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, even I remember the playoffs of 2006. You know, Padres played the Cardinals. And they played simultaneously that the Chargers were playing a Sunday night football game against the Steelers. And, like, the next day it was like, oh, who had the better television ratings? You're like, shut up. Why does that matter?
I know,
that doesn't matter at all. I know that I wanted to appeal to the baseball fans of San Diego.
Yeah.
There were plenty of people who prioritized NFL and probably still do. But for me, it was always the priority was always the Padre fan base. You know, that was the one. the Padre fans for 20 years changed my life.
Right.
I don't say that lightly or to get a reaction. I mean, seriously, like doing pregame shows around the gas lamp, working with the players who I mentioned a bit earlier, those people changed my life.
Yeah.
And, some of our best friends, my wife and I, our wedding party, were people that work for the Padres. We don't publicize it per se, but, these are the people who have meant the most to me. The football people were always great. They supported. We did what we did. But it was always the baseball people that held the special place for me in this market. And, I'm glad to see them have these days like today, like these postseasons. So I'm really happy for them.
It means a lot, too. I mean, we are obviously nothing without the people that show up to AleSmith and that listen every day. And it has been it's been an incredible ride. And you don't want it to end, certainly. And I like this guy's shirt right here. It says, celebrate every day. And I get the sense, Padres fans this season, you're even seeing some of the doomers, man. Even the doomers are going. Even the doomers are going, I got nothing. I got nothing to say. They've just been a really inspiring bunch. You want to keep rolling, man, for as long as it can. And, it's just been so special. And like I said, Darren and I talked the other night. He's like, so what do you say? Like, you come in, you're like, no, they won again or they lost. They lost, but they had a chance to win it. And you never really felt that before. And Mike Schilt, I think, has been – we haven't even really mentioned Schilty much today, but him coming in the situation that he came into, and I will be the first one to admit it, when Bob Melvin got let go or whatever happened with Bob Melvin, I got on the air and said –
Mets just beat the Phillies.
Oh, yeah, Mets just beat the Phillies 6-2. I got on the air and said, I don't know what's happening in this organization, but this is malpractice, letting a guy like Bob Melvin go.
Doesn't sound good.
And it didn't sound good at all. I was on that Zoom, sitting in my office going, what is going on? Where is our manager? Well, he's moving. Well, you can't take 10 minutes to answer some questions about a bad
End of the season.
End of the season Zoom. And I was just panicked, man. I was like, this is not going to go well. And lo and behold, Schilt comes in with a message. And you kind of watch him be a little testy at first with the media, and I kind of get it now based on how things ended in St. Louis. But my God, man, we've been down on the field a few times this season, and you'll watch him go up, and he'll start talking baseball with Crony, who's taking grounders at first, and he'll be there for 20 minutes, man, like just talking baseball with these guys. He's brought back, I think, in the clubhouse, a love of the game. And you talk about a manager never played at the highest level. One of the few that never played pro ball, but has such respect in that clubhouse because he rode the buses. He's hit the fungos. He's done it all. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Schilty. He's tough, man. He has been tough this year. No question.
And I think the toughness is sort of, you can feel it just in the way they play, right?
Yeah.
Like an at-bat. There's no like the engine will turn over at some point. It's sort of like the engine has to turn over today. Like it's got to turn over this at bat.
Yeah.
Don't waste one at bat. Don't waste 90 feet on the base pass. Don't waste any of that stuff. Like nothing should be for And last year was like it's gonna get going, right? Like we all know
it'll happen.
It'll happen. It's too good not to happen. Never happened.
Never happened.
And maybe it was a little bit of a mindset and conflicts and all that sort of stuff. But like. I think that's the thing that I like most. He's a fine manager.
Yeah.
But I think him just stressing, like, we don't have time to waste here.
Right.
We can't give these things away. I think that's the part that you feel has been the biggest impact. It's always natural when you replace one coach or manager with another. You're looking for something that was the opposite. And to no urgency line, urgency. Like, make sure these guys know not to give these at-bats up in a game.
I tried so hard to get him to say one negative thing about one guy just one time. He would not do it. Yeah. And at the beginning of the year, I thought, that's not going to work. You're coddling these guys to it. They need to be now. Maybe behind closed doors, it was a different message.
It was frustrating.
It was
frustrating.
We play
the audio in the morning, and it's just the Padres did no wrong. You just got to tip your cap.
Yeah,
You're like,
cap.
oh, you got bodied.
Remember when Dennis asked about Wandy Peralta? He's like, he didn't have it today. He's like, what? You say he didn't have it?
I died. I died.
Gee, I don't know, Mike. I mean, he went a third of an inning and gave up 4 runs. I don't think he had it today. You know, whatever you want me to say here, but
now
he
it
picked
makes
his
so much
fight.
more
Right.
sense.
Yeah, it does, man. And those guys, when you have a guy that says, I got your back no matter what, I believe in you, it's gone a long way for our San Diego Padres, who will be taking on the Dodgers in about an hour and 10 minutes. We're going to get out of here in a couple of minutes. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for showing up the way you do every day. Thank you so much to Darren for coming in and rescuing
Give it up
us.
for Darren
Give it up for
Smith.
Darren Smith, everybody.
You're too kind.
It's great
Thank
to have you, man.
AleSmith. Thank you to the promotion staff, everybody that made today possible. You guys, I said it earlier, but you guys losing your minds and singing along at the beginning of the show with our theme song.
Highlight of my life.
The Wednesday music playing. I mean, I'm going to remember that forever.
Forever.
That was awesome.
You guys have been incredible all season long. Let's enjoy tonight. Let's enjoy it. Let's embrace it.
Everybody raise a
Celebrate.
glass.
Everybody raise a glass. Are we doing beat LA or let's go Padres? Oh, let's go beat LA.
Beat LA.
Cheers. Let's go, everybody. Thank you to Italian Ball, Frank Marchese back in the studio for keeping us running today. And
Yeah, I did.
let's get out of here.
Yeah,
We
I
love you guys. Let's go Padres. Big win tonight. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be back Monday morning, 6 a.m., ready to rock. Hopefully talking about a couple dubs for our beloved Padres.
Let's get after it. Sam Levin is next.
Sam Levin's next.
Padres pregame show.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Woo.